freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. It's Wednesday, March the 22nd, and you know what that means. You got yourself a brand new episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people that I know to share stories from the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct from the one and only studio of Life or Death. If you're a returning freak or geek, thank you very much for checking back into our regularly scheduled appointment. And if you're new here, tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family. Freaks and Geeks came off of spring break last week. So the Foot Doctor took a little break, took a little time off, a little regroup, a mental reset, just chilling, hanging out with the dog, playing little video games, and prepping for some more podcast episodes of the futures. Talking with some people around the city, talking with some of the guests that we had on previously. Did a little chilling with our buddy Trent Albert, OG episode number 1, also episode number 30. Go hit those up if you haven't already. Did a little South by Southwest sights and sounds with him. I think it was like Thursday last week. Him and his daughter. Shout out to her. We just checked out South by. Did a little foot cruising. Nothing like your boy used to do. Your boy used to get fucking wild and crazy kids out there in fucking South by land. Just fucking doing some outlandish shit. Fucking smoking dope under an umbrella in the rain through 6th Street one time. Hit me up if you want to hear that story. But it was a good week. Got to chill. Got to do a podcast. And god damn it, Freaks and Geeks, I'm working on something. My cadences, I guess. I hate the fact that I say goddamn near whenever I can't think of something. I have been doing some listening to like I guess you could call them, what would they call them? Hosts or MCs in comedy clubs, trying to count the ums. I've been listening to some radio shows, listening to the host on there, trying to count the ums or the filler words. So I'm listening to it. I've been well aware of it this entire time. I say fucking too much. I say cool too much. I say that's what's up. I think I need to look for some more words. So I'm addressing my Achilles heel right now, the fact that I know this stuff and I'm working on it. I circle it every time I fucking come to it. So we are definitely working on those filler words. But it's hard. It's hard. I almost did it right then. So there we go. Some really good time during spring break. Got to go to one personal event that I wanted to see near the tail end of spring break. That was the Jam in the Van session. That was pretty dope. Out there, where the hell was that at? Armadillo Den out here in Austin, Texas. If you're not partial to that, check it out. If you're ever down in Austin, Texas, go hit that place up. Hit that whole South Manchac area. They got a lot of stuff going down out there. But this is not a plug for South Manchac, nor is this a plug for South by Southwest. What we're doing here, Freaks and Geeks, is I had the opportunity to go out and interview a musician, a Texas musician. And I'm going to drop the little feed here in just a moment, but I want to give you a little heads up on who it is and what we're about to listen to. This gentleman is part of a band, and you're going to hear me introduce and kind of say something similar to this when I drop the interview in there. But he's part of 2 bands out of the Austin area, 2 of personally, and this is not like, trying to sound good or look good. These are 2 of my favorite bands in the city of Austin, Texas, in all honesty. Every fucking time that they come through the city, because they're not often here, and I said that word often, they're not often here in the city. Oftentimes they're out touring across the state and even the country, out of the country as well. But whenever these 2 amazing fucking blues/funk bands are in the city, I always make time to go see them, and I just dig it. I've seen one of the bands many times, and again, this has got to be because I'm always listening to, the classics. I'm always dabbling into some fucking, I don't know, listen to a lot of blues. That's me if you don't already know. A lot of fucking Albert King, a lot of fucking Buddy Guy, a shitload of fucking Stones. I'm always listening to the old standards, the old classics, from the fucking CCRs to you name it, the Black Sabbaths, anything. I mean, if you... like you've heard on the podcast, I dabble in the purchasing records, so I like the old stuff. Definitely a huge fucking Dylan fan, but I love these two groups because they're modern, they're newer. One of the groups was established, I believe, like in 09, 08, and when I was put on that, I just ran with it. I really dug the sounds of one of the bands that we're going to talk about. I'm pretty much foreshadowing here because I don't want to give everything away. But I just want to just express the importance and the appreciation for these two groups. Very close-minded groups. They share members. The older of the two groups shares members with the newer of the two groups. And like I was saying, every time they come to town, I make my way to come check them out. I've had the privilege to see the first band multiple times at South by, seeing them at a South by event for Antones. Used to see them at fucking the Waterloo event, the Waterloo Records event that they do for South by. Where else have I seen them? Blues on the Green. Fucking seen them at Green Hall. That was a dope event there. Where I've seen the first band in multiple places, and I guess I'll cut to the chase and say what that first band is. Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears. I like to say Black Joe Lewis and the motherfucking Honey Bears, but I got to check them out, and we're gonna talk. We got to sit down and talk with one of the members of Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears, and that person's also a member, of Blood Pumps, another Austin band. But if you remember, and if you haven't Freaks and Geeks, and if you're just joining us for the first time, volume number 2, episode 14, we had Bill Stevenson. He's the bassist for Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears, and he's also the bassist and I would say on lead vocals for Blood Pumps. So that's not who we sat down with, but this is something you want to go check out, a previous episode long ago, because today on this episode, during this interview, I had the opportunity to head out to the place where our guest lives. Got to check out his little, they call it the pump house. You'll hear us reference that in just a little bit. But it was a beautiful little shed house. Had a solid little workspace for our guest to work on his. He's working on pedals, doing a little bit of instrument repair, doing a lot of wiring and soldering on instruments. Guitars, for the most part, is what we're going to talk about during this episode. So if you're a guitar head, definitely fucking stick around. But no matter who the fuck you are, you're here. You tuned into the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor for a reason. So keep an open ear. Let's keep listening. Let's take a listen and put your fucking hands together for our guest. Episode number 32. This is, remember, fucking volume 4 of the podcast Freaks and Geeks. Mike Brinley. Here we go. All right, Freaks and Geeks, this is episode number 32 of the podcast, and we got the beautiful privilege of taking the podcast on the road a little bit, not as far as last time, but headed on down the road, and we're chilling with the guest of the week, Mike Brinley. Among other things, he's part of two parts of some Texas bands here. They're jamming, they're funky, they're really bluesy. He's played rhythm guitar for Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears, and he's also the rhythm guitarist for the Blood Pumps. Put your hands together, Freaks and Geeks, and welcome our guest, Mike Brinley. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
My apologies. I always throw a T in your last name, and there's no T in that, so I got to work on that. I don't know why I do, but...
dude, my whole life, my last name, like, dude, people cannot... They don't want to say Brinley, dude. They want to say Brinley. They want to say Brinkley.
Yeah.
Really, hey, you know what? I haven't called it all, dude. It's cool.
We've had a couple of like musicians on the podcast, but I'm really trying to branch out and have a whole lot more local ones, Austin ones, and trying to move like in a little circle and keep them like Texas musicians and see what's up. We've gone to Houston, done some podcasts with comedians and musicians out there. So this is a real treat to sit down with someone in the Central Texas, Austin area. So I want to open up this thing with a relatively new question. What's on feet? What you rocking today?
Rocking just some real generic Nikes.
Yeah.
Like some straight dad Nikes. Like,
Yeah.
That are dirty as shit from walking around.
Yeah.
My place out here. These are just like my throw-ons.
Those
like
are your everydays?
These are my like working in the yard. Like never like untie them. They just like slip on. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Type
that's
of thing.
Yeah, I had a yard work shoe. I would always rock the Air Monarchs. The dad shoe.
Ooh, the real dad shoe.
Yeah, for sure. Got those. I mean, those had grass stains. Those had fence stain on them, and they worked really well. Mm-hmm. So you got these Nikes on. What do you usually like to wear in like the foot game? Do you like sneakers? Do you like boots? Do you like casual stuff? Do you like runners? What's up with that?
I mean, I don't know. I have like a lot of. I've always been like all over the map with footwear, but man, I always gravitate towards. I've always had a pair of black Nikes with a white check.
Okay.
Like, that's like has been in my like that's been my go-to shoe for like probably 20 years.
Yeah, solid part of the rotation. That's cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that colorway with the gum bottom? Because that used to be my like go-to.
Yeah, the bottom I'm flexible on. You know, I'm not like I kind of like all the different bottom kind of stuff, like, and honestly like these are like some like, you know, some like running trainers, you know, but my last black with the white swoosh was like some SBs, you know, so it's like I'll mix it up, like,
that's cool,
you know. So I used to really be into like the Dunk Lows back in the day.
Oh, that's excellent, man. Like, do you have any do you still have any of those?
Probably not. I probably wore the hell out of them and took them out.
Yeah, I've got a decent collection of Dunks and lows as well. So those I do kind of favor towards those. Would you say that's one of your like? Well, do you have like a favorite brand? I mean, or go-to brand? I mean,
I'm definitely like I've always had like a go-to of Nike, but I don't know. I've rocked a bunch of different, like, you know, I used to rock Sambas. Yeah. You know, for a while.
Little Adidas.
Yeah. I did that for a while. I actually got a pair of in that same colorway, the black with the white logo. I got rocking a pair of Pumas right now. Okay. That it's my first pair of Pumas.
Pumas?
Yeah. I gotta say they're comfy. I don't know. I've heard
there's some, you can hear hits and misses out there. I have like one pair.
Yeah, I hear like some people are like, nah, Pumas aren't comfortable, but man, these are pretty good. So I'm okay with it. But I mean, other than that, like, I don't know. I always rocked like cowboy boots and like lace up boots for like a long time, but I don't know. I haven't really worn. I've kind of been off that kick for a while.
Yeah, going off the cowboy boots. What's your thought on this whole like Tacovas? Have you dabbled into those?
No, I had growing up in Arizona. I had like a ton of cowboy boots, and like I don't know. I never thought they were really that comfortable. Yeah, and I got a pair of Ariats. Okay, you know, and man, they're super comfy. It's like the only pair of cowboy boots like I'll probably ever want. Like,
you like a round toe box or like a square toe box or a pointed toe box?
I like a little like in between. Okay. Like, you know, I definitely don't like we call them the cockroach killers. You know, they got the corner. Yeah. Definitely never had a pair of those, and I don't know, the super round like looks more like a work boot, you know, which is cool, but I don't know, I'm not really into that for cowboy boots. I'm not usually that real just generic standard looking cowboy boot.
That's what's up. What's your shoe size?
11.
11. All right, cool. That's what's up. Is there any shoes you stay away from for any reason or personal reason?
Man, honestly, I've never ever been a sandal open toe type of guy. Just I don't know why. Yeah. Just always was kind of averse to it. Even at the beach. Yeah. even at the beach, I would always rock like some like Van slip-ons.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, beach or pool, you can throw a Van slip-ons in, or even like a river. I'll definitely go for a Van slip-on for that.
Definitely.
A lot more protection, a lot more like traction under there.
Yep.
I get down with that. That's something new that I kind of started, but that Van slip-on is extremely versatile for sure.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Damn, I was gonna build off a question off of that. You got any like house shoes? What's your house shoe game? You rocking anything for in the home?
I've tried that like over the years,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know. I just like I'll get like some cool little like slippers or like moccasin deals or something. It's like they're comfortable and like every time I wear them, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then it's just like I like throw them under my bed or something and like don't put them on again like ever. You know.
If I could give you, or if I could give the Freaks and Geeks a recommendation on this, Vans slip-on slides are tremendous.
Okay.
Like I've gone through I usually use slides for like the house shoe, and those Vans slip-on slides like really do well. They're extremely comfortable, better than anything I've really set my foot in for a slide.
Yeah.
In the market. So that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I usually do the move, you know, where you like just like take your shoe you wear all the time and just like step on the heel so it like almost turns into a slide. You know,
that's good too. I remember doing that with some Vans for sure.
I always do that too. Yeah. So that's my slide version of slides.
To get into the music realm a little bit, like I used to have like a concert shoe where like if you're going out to like an outdoor event or outdoor concert, I would take these. It was a pair, it's keeping it with the Vans. This could be a Vans episode, Freaks and Geeks. Keeping it with the Vans. They were black on black, like classics, with a white bottom. Do you have, or have you ever had like a concert shoe that you take when you know that it's going to be like a dirt lot or like a rainy event or something like that?
No, not really, to be honest. I used to rock, I guess, like, if I know it's going to be, like, kind of a grungy type of scene, like, I'll rock some Converse. Yeah. Like, usually, like, some high-top Converse. Or I used to, I was actually thinking getting another pair, but I used to rock those, kind of, the high-top Vans that with the blue, you know?
Skate highs?
Yeah, I think so. And it has, like, the blue and gray, like, kind of colorway on it. I used to rock or blue and black. I can't remember exactly. Yeah. But it's like a classic one. And I used to, those and the Converse, the highs on both of them were always like great go-to weather, you know, like in the mud, like they do great in the mud and just tromping around and whatnot. So.
No, I agree with that. I get down with that.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's get a little more personal here. You kind of dropped it a second ago, but for the Freaks and Geeks, for people that don't know, where were you born or where'd you grow up?
Yeah. So I was actually born in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
But then me and my immediate family moved to Tucson, Arizona when I was real young. So I consider myself from Tucson. Yeah. I grew up there. I went to school there. So.
Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. What are your parents' names?
Ed and Sue.
They still live in Arizona?
My mom passed away. All right. 6 years ago, almost now. And my dad actually, when my mom passed away, me and my sister encouraged him to move back to Kentucky. Okay. Just because he got brothers and sisters. Yeah. There, so it's just like probably be better for him to be around more family, especially since I had already left Tucson at that point. And so
that's cool. Mm-hmm. What'd they do for work when you were growing up?
My mom was a teacher, and my dad was a graphic artist for the Air Force, which is kind of an interesting job.
That's a solid gig, though. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Do you know, like, what did he design? If you know? Yeah.
So when he started back, you know, we moved to Tucson, and because he took a job doing that, so it's like that was like, you know, in the late '80s, and like when he got hired, he was doing like straight up like drawings, like because they didn't really have like the whole like computer graphics game was like real weak, you know, at that time. Which he did some of that, but most of the stuff he would do is just for like the base like publications, and then like later on he ended up doing like stuff for like website, like actual graphic stuff. But
that's cool. Did any of his stuff ever make it on like a plane or anything?
I don't think he ever. Maybe. Yeah. I don't think he ever actually painted on a plane. Yeah. If he did, I don't really remember ever seeing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was, or still is, talented.
Yeah.
Talented artist.
That's what's up. Your mom, what'd she teach?
She just taught pretty much whatever grade I was in.
Oh yeah, kind of followed you. That's cool.
Yeah, she followed me around through like elementary school.
Was she your teacher through like?
She was never actually my teacher, but she would always like get a job at the school I would be going to, and just would like work usually with kids younger than me. Yeah. But like I don't know, just keep her. Like I don't know why she did that, but I mean keep an eye on me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad racket from like the kid's perspective. You always have your your parent there to go to if you need anything or stuff like that. So that's cool to have that there. Mm-hmm. You have any siblings?
A sister.
Sister?
Who still lives in Tucson.
Okay,
her name's Corey.
All right. Let's see. What were some of your hobbies and interests growing up?
I was all over the map, but I mean, when I was a little kid, all I lived for was video games and sports. Like,
okay.
That's like all I did.
What'd you play? What sports you play?
Everything. Like basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
Football, soccer. But,
you got any favorites of those? Like favorite teams or favorite players? You still follow that at all?
Yeah, I do. I follow football and basketball mostly.
Yeah.
I don't really. I mean, I still like baseball, but I don't really follow it as much as I used to. But I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, growing up out there. But also, just like randomly, grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
So I'm a Cowboys fan and a Suns fan.
That's what's up. You ever go to live games or anything?
Man, not as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to go a lot more, especially basketball. I mean, it's like San Antonio is so close by,
Yeah.
Like, and tickets are fairly cheap. So it's like,
I know they're doing like a 35 series where they're going to go and play a couple of games at the Moody.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you got sports, you got video games. Let's get back on that. What was your like favorite games growing up?
Well, I'm old ass, so like I remember getting a original Nintendo and then every Nintendo after that,
Yeah.
But the first like game that I remember like really like getting like hardcore with was the Ninja Turtles 2 game.
Okay.
Which was on I think the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
I used to just like play that game for hours and hours. It's crazy.
You ever get down with Battletoads?
Oh yeah, Battletoads, the original Contra.
Yeah, oh that's great.
From those games, yeah, and then kind of morphing forward, also really in my mind is the GoldenEye from the 64 when that came out.
So big Nintendo head. That's cool. Is that still present in your life with like you or your son?
My son's a big video game nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just got too busy for it at a certain point.
Yeah.
But now that my kid's into it now, like I play with him, and we bond over that, and he's got a Switch.
Okay.
So he's really into like Minecraft.
Yeah.
And Rocket League.
Okay. That's a little sport thing too. That's what's up.
Yeah, those are his two main go-tos.
Do you play at all with him on that?
Yeah, I play with him. Yeah, I mean at least weekly, but
that's cool.
Yeah, we normally.
I don't know if you know, but they have like all of those retro games built in.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
I found those, dude, and I was just like, oh shit.
And they just dropped GoldenEye.
They did just drop GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Have
you got on that?
Yeah, dude.
That's cool. That's what's up. And now it's online as well.
Is it, dude?
Yeah.
Because I thought it. I remember looking and seeing that it wasn't when it first started. They must have just.
I think they have that option now.
You do multiplayer online. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, dude, they're gonna do multiplayer like online. It's gonna be so sick.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm a big Nintendo head myself. I got a Switch. I just like spent some time picking up that Metroid game with that Prime Remastered.
So I would like that.
Yeah.
So I usually just play the games that my kid gets. Like every now and then I'll get something that's like nostalgic. Yeah, I used to be into like the Final Fantasy games a bunch.
Yeah. Damn it. So Final Fantasy, that's cool.
Yeah, so sometimes I had downloaded one of those onto the Switch, and
yeah,
it's like those games just take forever
Yeah,
to
those
be.
are long. I never really got into those, but they have a huge following, huge background with that.
Yeah. No, but my kid liked that Breath of the Wild game.
That's
We played the
really
hell out of
good
that game.
Yeah, I was never a Zelda head, but to have that one like a open world game was sick. I know they got the sequel coming out like in May,
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, that one and Mario Odyssey. We played the hell out of that
See, that's
one.
another open world one that takes a platform Mario and throws you in that. I never got down with that one, but how's that?
Dude, it's good.
Yeah.
I would recommend, definitely. Like it's a cool.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
to
cool,
check that
It's
out.
one of the cooler Mario games I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, there's a lot going on that. I never played an open world, like, I never played Mario 64, never played Sunshine, never played Odyssey, so might have to check that out. I really do, I get down with those. Little game talk there, Freaks and Geeks. Let's bring it back. Where'd you go to high school at?
So group in Tucson, we moved up north for high school. My parents, we were kind of living a little more south. My parents, they thought it was a little rough, which South Tucson's a little rough, that's for sure. But they moved us up north for high school, and so I went to CDO is what it was called. It's like a north side school, but it's huge. There's like 1,400 kids in my freshman class.
Yeah.
It's just like,
What's the mascot on that?
they're the Dorados, which
Dorados.
which is like a Native American dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So were you playing sports in high school too?
Yeah. I played sports in high school a little bit. And then, I kind of started smoking weed and then, wouldn't make the teams. And so.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you did you ever varsity or were you like JV head when you were doing it?
I think I did JV was the most. I don't think I never played for any varsity teams.
Yeah.
But all my friends played sports too. Man, our high school was also like with baseball, like it was like just like a really, really good baseball school. Yeah. Like we had like I went to school with like 4 dudes that got World Series rings now.
Oh shit,
that's like
cool.
A bunch of like professionals came out of my school.
Yeah.
And it's just, I remember like I thought it was like I thought it was like okay, like, and then like it was like I couldn't make those teams. Like those dudes were just like unreal good.
Yeah, that's that day and night stuff where you got to be fucking dreaming of jump shots and fucking spiral plays and shit like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just wasn't committed. Yeah. Like I like to play, and I was okay, but like they want all the with like basketball, like they want you there at like 5 a.m. to do like practice before school.
You even got to be studying that playbook like outside of all that stuff. Yeah, you got to take that thing home and memorize that.
Yeah, and for me, I was just like, I wasn't that committed. I was like, man, I like sports, I like playing, man, but it's like, I knew I wasn't like great at any of them. I was like, I'm not gonna be a professional. Like, I don't know, maybe that's selling myself short, but.
What was your favorite sport to play throughout the season?
I mean, basketball was always my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did like a lot. I mean, we just played a lot of street ball, honestly. Like in Tucson, there's like always like lots of street courts that we'd always like all the time. That's like all we did was go play basketball. It was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
What's up. It's a little ball in there.
Mm-hmm.
So where does like music come into play? Were you in band in high school? What's up with that?
No, I wasn't in band. I was just a stoner, and me and my friends like just were like, hey, let's learn instruments, and I had a keyboard, like I had like messed around with music, like, and like my dad played guitar, so like, but I was never like really interested until like my friends wanted to like start getting in bands and stuff, and so like we would just play in little like we just do like fucking classic rock covers, and punk covers, and
so like what was your first? Do you remember your first guitar?
Yeah, I actually have it.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually redoing it, but it was like just this Ibanez guitar that had one pickup, one humbucker pickup in the bridge, and I remember like taking it apart one day.
Yeah.
I always thought it sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember taking it apart and pulling like the pickup out and like the pickup is actually like a super vintage, like Seymour Duncan 59 humbucker, and
was that a stock pickup?
No. It's so the guy who the guitar itself is like a kit guitar that like my dad's friend had made.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like, it was okay, but he had put that, I don't know where he got that pickup, but he just like must have just thought he had it laying around and put it in there.
Yeah.
But that pickup, I think my dad bought that guitar for me for like $50, for my birthday or something. And I mean, that pickup later on was like that pickup is worth like $400-500.
Oh, really?
Like just that, and I was like, dude, this guy had no clue what pickup he put in here. Yeah. This is like it's like a '70s vintage Seymour Duncan humbucker. I was just like, dude, this guy had no clue. He just thought it was some old pickup in a box. Yeah. And it was like really nice one. I was just like, damn,
that's a steal. What what body style is it?
It kind of looks like a Strat. You know, it's like that style.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I cracked the neck on it like when I was like pretty young, and I don't know, I held on to it forever for some reason. It moved with me probably 100 times, and I don't know why I kept it with me, but I actually just recently kind of refinished it, and kind of and I like hollowed out like all the electronics, like I ripped all the electronics out of it, and so now it's like I'm actually waiting on a neck for it, and then it'll be done, but I put what's called an arcade button, and it's literally what it sounds like. You think of like the old arcades, like the big, it's probably like a, half, 3/4 inch size button. Yeah. Plastic button that's like all bright and colorful. You literally install that in the guitar, and it's just like a kill switch. So it's like, it won't have a volume knob or any knobs on it whatsoever. And it'll just have one humbucker. And like, if you touch it, if you hit that arcade button, it kills the signal. Yeah. So like it makes almost like a want like a tremolo kind of thing. So like when you're playing, you can just like mash that button like you would a video game. That's just like da 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 da, and it's just like wah, 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 wah. Like, it's cool. So
that's sick, man.
Yeah.
How'd you think about that? Is that because I know like Fender does that. What's that, F1? Is that what they call it? The F1 switch, where it'll be that switch that's on the
on the tone knob.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are those are a little bit different. Yeah, that kind of just affects the tone. But no, those arcade buttons. I was working at Collins Guitars, which is actually just down the street from here. Okay. For a while, and one of the guys was kind of into building guitars. I mean, lots of the guys there were, but somebody there told me about the arcade buttons, and I was like, oh shit! And then like he showed, there's a couple builders like in America that use them, and they've kind of a little bit more popular on some of the wild builds, but for the most part, most people don't know what they are.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen one, in all honesty, on a guitar. So that's the first time I'm really hearing about it. So what's your first concert you ever went to?
First concert?
Yeah.
It's fuzzy, honestly. I can't really recall exactly what it was. Like I was trying to think on that. Yeah. And I really couldn't say, man. I mean, I'm even trying. I think it was probably like the Offspring or something like that, like one of those kind of bands. Yeah. I used to go to like a bunch of those like kind of like late 90s like pop punk shows, like Pennywise, and like NoFX, and like stuff like that.
Would that have been in Arizona or here in Austin?
That was in Tucson. Okay. Yeah, and then we also used to go to like once we got into high school, we used to go to these. There was like this place in Tucson called Scrappy's, and it was just like it was like a high school kid hangout, and like they just like their like awful bands would play. And stuff like
but
that.
it was a music venue too.
Yeah, but it was basically like a high school kid hangout. Yeah. They sold like non-alcoholic drinks. And, there's like couches and everything, and like a little stage. It's just like it was a crusty scene even in high school for high school kids.
That's what's up. What was like the best concert you've been to? Like might have been doesn't have to be favorite artist, but you have like one of those best concert you've been to?
I don't know. When I was kind of right out of like college in my like mid 20s, like like me and like some friends, like we used to go to like a bunch of different like music festivals.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I used to just like go to those and like eat a bunch of acid and shit, and
check
like
them out.
that would just like, you know, like my favorite shows were just like usually like the like kind of like DJ sets,
Okay.
you know, where I just be like tripping on acid, like you know, you like you just kind of get lost in that, you know, and that would be like next thing you know, like the sun's coming up and you're just like, oh shit, that was a pretty good night.
Lost in the rhythm, lost in the colors, lost in the lights. That's it. So like you're getting into playing music, you're getting into a music performance, kind of inspired by your dad a little bit, would you say?
I mean, I guess so, you know, not that I ever, you know, thought it was, you know, he never really taught me, like, he never, like, gave me lessons or nothing like that. Like,
did you ever take lessons as a kid?
No, never took lessons. Whenever I asked my dad to, like, show me stuff, like, he'd just, like, throw me, like a book, you know, like, learn, that's how you, you know, learn these chords and things like that. So, I don't know, but I'm sure, you know, part of my subconscious was inspired by that, but I don't know.
Did your parents impact your like your music preference for listening?
Definitely. I mean, how could they not, you know?
Yeah.
And my mom was real religious. She'd always like play like religious music, like Christian singers and stuff like that. Like I remember she played a lot of like Amy Grant.
Okay.
But then my dad was like more of like a ex-hippie guy, so like he played like a lot of like Allman Brothers and you know, Willie Nelson.
Cool.
Just like lots of kind of stoner jam band stuff.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. Dwayne Allman was definitely one of like my first like I want to play guitar like this guy, like type of thing. Like I was really into him when I was younger.
Yeah, no, that's definitely someone high to look up to. Mm-hmm. Can you read music?
I can, but I can't sight read. Like I can't sit down at a show and be like, oh, just hand me a book, I'm good to go. You know, like I know how to do it, but it takes me a while. Like if I had to like write something out, I could. It would just take me a while.
What's your you got a preference on like standard notation or tabs? You down with tabs at all?
I used to be, man. When I was learning, tabs were king. It's a
good way to learn for sure.
You know, and I was always a good. I always play by ear really well. Yeah. You know, so like I play a tab, and I'd be like, this tab's wrong. Yeah. You know, like that thing, and I just kind of use the tabs to like kind of help me get in the general area, and then I usually just kind of figure stuff out on my own.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there was a certain point where I just like kind of just stopped. Yeah, doing that altogether.
I've seen you when you're playing. I know we're kind of like bridging or like going into some more of the performance, but you get down with some slide stuff when you play too, right?
Yeah.
How'd you come about like getting into that?
Yeah, go back to the Dwayne Allman thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that, and then you know that was Dwayne Allman was a rabbit hole for all the great slide players in history, and we although I feel like most slide players play like the open tuning, which Dwayne Allman did as well, and I definitely did that when I first started. But at some point, I just started doing the like standard tuning, not like changing my tuning. Yeah. So it's kind of I feel like there's an advantage there, especially like playing with Joe. Like I do a lot of rhythm stuff. Yeah. So it's like it's really easy to like jump back and forth to be able to like hit some slide stuff and then jump right back into like some standard like rhythm chords and things like that. So staying in that standard tuning, it can be pretty versatile.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one of like the barriers or like the islands of playing with slide is it's got that stigma of we're gonna have to go to a different tuning. Yeah. And some people are like, yeah, I'll back out at that point in time. Mm-hmm. But that's cool, getting down with standard tuning and slide. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's George Harrison used to play like that. Yeah, and I feel like it also gives your slide it gives it kind of a different sound. You know, like you kind of like the licks you can play on the standard tuning are different than the open tuning. You know,
you down with more of like a steel or brass or like glass bottle?
I use the glass. I've just always gravitated towards that. I got like a specific one that like fits me, and that's the one I'll always go to.
You like a pinky guy? You a ring finger guy?
I'm a ring finger guy, and it's just because I have small hands, I think. Yeah. So like I used to try like the pinky is definitely better for playing, like just because you got the rest of your hand to like do like other stuff. Like I feel like if I was actually like gonna have the best chance to be the best slide player ever, like I would have just forced myself to use my pinky. But ring finger was more comfortable. I could still kind of just make it work. Yeah, you know, and it's like
there's this one slide I get down with. It's brass, and it's got like the back end of it is kind of cut out, so you can bend at the big knuckle a little bit more. And it's also got like a divot on the side where you can rest your like. I think it's for your pinky. You can rest your pinky on it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
I forget
cool.
what it's called, but they're like a big manufactured slide company. I don't remember what it is, but those are pretty dope.
Yeah, I know Joe likes to play with the brass, like kind of like the metal sounding one, and it definitely has a cool like sound of like the metal, the strings are metal too, so like the metal on metal, like when it's like makes a really kind of rustic cool sound, that
little resonator vibes.
Yeah, it's just like it just sounds it sounds more raw for sure. Like the glass is more smooth.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's what's up. You do any you got any classical guitars or anything?
No classicals. I got a couple acoustics.
Yeah.
And sorry, my mountain of
Freaks and Geeks. We're sitting out here in the little the guitar shed, and he's got a bunch of inventory in here. Looks like some pretty cool little cases.
yeah. We call this the pump house because it literally is where my well is, where it pumps my well.
That's cool.
Water. But yeah, we're doing. We've been doing like all the blood pumps recording in here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. So Pump House is kind of becoming part of our like brand.
Yeah.
Like that's how I'm even calling my pedal brand the Pump House pedals.
I got you.
And so like
that's cool.
It's like part of our identity these days.
That's nasty. You get that mic a little closer because you turned to it a little while ago and it sounded really, really good.
All right.
So Pump House, that's where we're at. Let's talk about this pedal process. I've seen on your Instagram a little bit, and Freaks and Geeks. If you're not following Mike, I'm gonna put his little handle in the show notes. But I've seen you post a couple of like videos of your pedal process. Talk to me about that. How'd that come about?
Yeah, well, that's just kind of a new thing. Like this is my my first pedal design that I'm doing here. And it really just, I don't know, I had a background in electronics, so I kind of just knew some of that stuff, and I've always been a little bit of a gear nerd. Yeah. So I don't know, really it was during the pandemic when I first started just like messing with it.
Yeah.
And I was just like messing around like with like I have over here is called like a breadboard.
Yeah.
And that's just like something you can use to like just like play around with circuits. It's just like no soldering or anything. You just like stick the components in, And so I don't know. I stumbled upon this fuzz pedal like circuit design. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, well, shit, I'm just gonna try to make it.
Yeah.
So literally just been going step by step, making the CAD drawings and everything like that, and getting the boards printed. And I really was just this one. I was just trying to come up with a fuzz sound that I liked. So it's like there's like no parameters. Like lots of pedals have lots of different knobs and stuff, and this one's just it's one knob. It's like the volume knob, and that's it. It's just like the tone is like fuzz tone that I like, and it's like that's it. Like that's a one trick pony.
That's cool. Yeah. What got you into like using pedals? Because some people prefer them, some people don't. What got you into that?
Well, just just being younger and just like learning all the world of guitar stuff that's out there. I started off with like those like multi effects pedals that are like they were pretty bad back in the day, and like those like Digitech roll-in ones.
Yeah.
But then from there, like I started getting like stomp boxes, and it was just like, oh, at some point I was just like, oh, I like these better. I feel like I got better control. And then at one point I had like a pedal board where I had like, you know, I probably had like 8 to 10 pedals like going like for like any gigs and things like that. And then at some point I just got sick of all of it, and I was just like, man, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And like just pared down everything to like I never have more than 3 pedals now. Like, you know, whenever I'm like playing, like I'll just.
I got you.
And it's just, I don't know. It's a lot easier for me. Like, I'd rather just like play the parts, you know. Like,
yeah.
Nowadays, like all the pedals that I use and things like that, like usually get used more so in like a recording setting. Okay. You know, it's like, okay, I'm really gonna be real specific about this tone I'm trying to get, or this effect I'm trying to get, you know, to really match the recording, you know. But like in a live setting, it's just like some of those like super nuanced things like just get lost anyways, you know. It's like just play a cool part, man. It's just, you know, just especially with the kind of music that we play, it's, you know, I'm always just trying to like, for guitar, like I try to think of it more of like as a percussive thing than a, you know, melodic thing. You know, it's just like all our music is just like real rooted in like rhythm, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that kind of thing. So
That's it. So I got a couple of top 5 questions for you. You have any top 5 guitars? Maybe you own them. We're talking like brands. We're talking body styles. What you got on that?
I mean, I've always been a Strat guy.
Yeah.
Just I'm used to it. I feel like it's a real versatile guitar. You can beat the shit out of it, and it's gonna still do its thing.
Yeah.
I've been playing this Strat Plus for a long time, that was like a late '80s model that came out that Fender did, and it's like had a couple different features on it, but it's a solid guitar.
I'll have to check that out. What's the difference on that? Like Strat versus Strat Plus?
So it's got a roller nut, which the roller nut it's nice. It definitely helps it kind of stay in tune a little bit better with the tremolo, because there's like less friction at the nut there. And then it has what's called a trim setter in the back. You know, you have like the 3 springs usually. Well, the one in the middle is called a trim set spring, and it's like you can actually adjust the tension of the spring, like with a little screw that's like machine screw that's like built into it. And what it does is it just helps when you're using the whammy bar. You know, it helps it to return to the exact same spot.
More tension on it
every time. Like it's just like locked in on like this like whatever tension you lock it at. It'll return back to there every time. So it helps it stay in tune better when you're like you can use the shit out of the whammy bar and it won't detune as bad.
That's cool.
Those are the 2 main differences, and then like it has like some upgraded like hardware and pickups and whatnot on it. But
still has 3. Is that a single coil? That one?
Yeah, all the 3 single coil. Like that one came standard with these pickups that are called the lace sensors. They had like, and they don't make those anymore either. And they had like different colored lace sensors. Like there's like gold, red, and blue, and like they're like different levels of like hotness. You know, the gold ones were like just real mellow. Which I still have those in there, but I've actually been considering switching them out. They replaced those with the noiseless pickups they have now, which those are solid too. But there's a whole world of just pickups out there. Like it's crazy.
Expensive world.
Definitely.
What color is the Plus?
It's a midnight blue.
Is that the one you used to have the leopard print, the leopard pickguard on?
Yeah, and then I switched out for like a blue.
Yeah,
it's almost like a blue tortoise.
Okay. What color is the non Plus?
I have a non Plus that's tobacco sunburst.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, Strats, and then I mean Telecasters too. You know, like I've never owned a Telecaster. I don't know why, because they're such badass guitars.
Yeah, they're cool.
Like I don't know why. Like if the next guitar I get will definitely be a Telecaster. Like they're just like the essential like rock and roll punk guitar. You know, like they're just so badass. Joe plays Telecaster a lot.
Yeah, that red one he has is pretty sick.
Yeah.
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 I think he used to have a brown one too, right? Like a dark brown.
Yeah, I think he still does. He's got a few. Yeah, he's got strats too. Sometimes he plays strats as well. Trying to think. I mean, those are definitely the two that I always gravitate towards. But I mean, the other guitars I have, like I have this Yamaha here, which is like a early '80s semi-hollow body. It's like got the like kind of like the Gibson 335, like that semi-hollow body guitar that just got ripped off by everyone.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that style, but it's a solid guitar. Those early '80s Yamahas were badass. They're actually really, really good guitars.
Yeah.
And that thing has also been like kind of a workhorse for me.
That's cool.
I've replaced some things on it and whatnot, but that guitar is badass.
Yeah.
And I got a Firebird. I got a Gibson Firebird 5.
That's dope.
Which I'm into.
I've never you speak a lot about Fender. I'm a big Fender head myself. I never really like branched out into like Gibson or anything like that. But have you done, aside from that one, have you played on any Gibsons that you prefer or dig on?
Not really. I mean, there's cool ones like the Les Pauls were always just like I love the way they sound. They just got such a like hard, heavy sound. Yeah. It's really badass. But from like a live perspective, they're so heavy. Yeah, they're like the necks are like kind of clunky to me compared to the Fenders. And it's just overall, it's just like I never like really. It never felt super comfortable to me, so like it was harder for me to like really, play more comfortably. I got you. It just felt heavier. Harder to play, so I just kind of never gravitated that way. I like the SGs; those were cool. Yeah. And the Firebird, that's my favorite Gibson. Yeah. I got the opportunity to get one, and I was just like, I gotta grab this thing, man.
That's what's up.
But and then I guess I should mention Collings. Like I worked out there. Those guitars are crazy. Like they're crazy expensive. Like the low level electrics, like $4,000. Yeah. But they are literally the most perfect guitars I've ever seen in my life. Like I worked in the electric setup spot where it was the last room before they went in a case and got shipped out the door. And it's at the end, they have rubber gloves on, touching them. The finishes are literally perfect. There's zero flaws in them. It's nuts. They still do tours out there, man. You should check it out sometime.
I'll have to check that out.
It's wild. Yeah. It's like Willy Wonka's shop, but for making guitars. Yeah. All done. So much of it's done by hand. And it's incredible. Yeah, it sounds like a blast. What's up with that? I don't want to butcher the name. That Italian one you got, that 64 Italian. What's up with that? Oh, that dude. What's that called? The brand name is Crucianelli. Okay. They actually used to make accordions in the 60s. Yeah. And then they came out with this line, and I found this guitar online for super cheap. Yeah. And it's just it's weird, man. The pickups are like they used to make the pickups they're made by Crucianelli, and it's a weird design. I don't even know what to call the pickups. They're not really any standard. Yeah, you wouldn't call it a single coil or a P90 or humbucker. It's just a weird custom design pickup that they made. And there's a lot. There's 4 of them, right? They have there's of that specific one. Well, pickups on that body. Oh, that one, yes. Yeah. So that was that was the one that had 4 pickups, and the selector switch is really weird. Yeah. It's push button stuff, like tabs up top, and it's it's definitely got flaws in the design, but the trim action on it is badass, and the coolest part is that gold sparkle, and then the back is the mother of pearl, and it's just it's made out, the whole body is a celluloid type of thing. It's really weird, but it's got that trim on the side of it, right? That it's white, if I saw that right. Yeah. What is that? That's it. It's like plastic. Like
Yeah.
it's like some kind of like celluloid. Like
Yeah.
the whole body's made like mold, like this like molded celluloid
That's
stuff.
cool.
It's weird, and it's like even on the back of the neck is
Yeah.
made out of it. Like the
Oh, shit.
obviously the fingerboard is still
Yeah.
is rosewood, but the whole thing is just like really weird. But it makes for a really weird. It makes for a really unique sounding
Yeah.
guitar. I've played it live, like kind of for fun, like more so for like the looks than anything else.
Yeah.
But I've also recorded a decent amount with it just because it makes a tone that's just like it doesn't sound like any other guitar, you know. And it's like it's not you know it's got to get in where it fits in, you know. Like it doesn't not sound good on lots of parts, but then some parts where you need like something real interesting that kind of catches your ear, like it can do that real well. So.
That's cool. Is it more of like a jazz? Because it reminds me of like a jazz master or something like that with the switches on the side. What do you think? Is it more of like a jazzy guitar, or what's up with that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I guess you could call it that, but it's it's a real unique guitar. Like just in the sense, like I don't really know what it does well. It doesn't really do much well. Actually, it's kind of an awful guitar to be honest, but it's cool. It looks cool, and it's got a very unique sound that I feel like I can put it in spots, you know, that's beneficial, and it's I don't know. I got it for cheap, man. So that's like, I like just to like I keep that one in my house, just like on like a wall hanger too.
It's a
like,
piece of art in
like
itself.
It looks cool, but it's also because the whole thing's made of plastic. It's like I don't really worry about like the wood and the humidity and like it being out in the open. Like it's like not really gonna twist on me or anything like that. Just because it's like. It's such a weird plastic guitar. Yeah. Unlike these, like this I try to keep this room as like temperature controlled as I can. You know, try to keep the wood and the instruments like not from getting crazy. So.
Yeah. That's cool. What you gotta? Let's hit another top 5 list. Let's do top 5 guitarists.
Guitarists. Man, that's a tough list. I'd say like Nile Rodgers, like. Definitely way up there. I like Mark Knopfler.
Okay.
Those are probably 2 of my favorites. And then like I don't know, like Neil Young, obviously, like incredible. And like, I actually really like Bruce Springsteen's guitar playing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's like really underrated guitar player.
He also plays with Little Steven, right?
Well, Little Steven plays with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of the E Street Band.
Yeah, for sure. You ever seen him live?
No, I haven't. Yeah. That's Bill and Joe went to the River tour back however many probably 5 years ago now. Yeah. Man, I was so bummed that I couldn't go to that, man, because that would have been like that would have been like the tops for me, I think, but. Now his tickets just you can't even afford.
Yeah. He just came through a couple of maybe like a month or 2 ago, I think.
Yeah, tickets were like $2,000.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
just for like standard general admission tickets. I was like, damn, dude,
that's too much.
I'd like to see Bruce, but not for that price.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I really liked Wes Montgomery. He was like a jazz dude.
Yeah.
I still like to play along to his stuff. Like he's just like real innovative with his licks and stuff. Is that 5?
Yeah, that's 5. That's 5. You got any record collections or anything like that?
Yeah, I got some records.
Yeah,
I got some old records. I got actually recently been collecting a bunch of like krautrock records, which is like German, like early German synth like bands. It was like from these like 70s bands. Yeah. Like the most well-known ones probably like Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
You know, but then there's like tons of like spin-offs of them, you know.
I know Kraftwerk for sure.
Yeah.
They're on some stuff.
Yeah, I've been collecting some krautrock records.
I feel like they played ACL Live like a couple of years ago.
Kraftwerk?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Those tickets were also like insane,
outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I have like some jazz stuff and kind of some just some like instrumental records too, like usually like lots of that stuff, and then like some old soul records. And
that's what's up. Let's hit this one last on the top 5. So let's do top 5 albums, the ones you got to take. Shit's hitting the fan. You're like, I'm gonna take these 5. I need these for life.
I don't know, man. My music taste changes a lot, but I don't know. I guess if I had to choose 5 to take with me somewhere, shit, man. I'd probably take a Bruce record. I'd probably take The River just because it's a big ass double record.
All right.
It'd probably be a good one to take. I'll probably take a Neil Young record. Which that would be a hard one to choose, honestly, but I guess I'd take like Gold Rush or something like that.
Okay.
Something classic. I'll probably take like some hip hop with me as well. Oh shit. Yeah.
That's okay. The pump house is vivid out here, Freaks and Geeks. Got the birds in the back.
Out in the country, bro. If I take a hip hop record with me, I'll probably take like a old Nas record or something.
You talking Illmatic, or what are you thinking on that?
I really like It Was Written.
Okay.
I think that was always like.
Yeah.
I was always really big into that record. I'll probably take shit, dog.
It's all good, no pressure.
I'm trying to think about the classics, man. The classics I listen to. I'd probably take like a blues record with me as well. I'd probably take like Albert King. Like,
which one? Want to Get Funky?
Probably Want to Get Funky. Like Albert, that one or
King Albert. You heard that one?
Yeah.
That one's one of my favorites. Albert King. Albert King. King Albert's dope.
Yeah. I'd probably take I Want to Get Funky. That's probably
sick.
That's probably my favorite one. And,
yeah.
Shit, man. I don't know. I guess I'd take like an Al Green record or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So. Have to. You got like a favorite record store in the area?
Not really anymore, man. I still like End of an Ear. It's like really the only one that. It's record stores are hard nowadays. You know,
they're starting to pop back up again though.
Yeah, but they're just like everything's so expensive.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no deals anymore. Like everyone knows exactly
what it's worth.
Yeah,
what they're gonna get for it.
There was a really cool record store in Tucson called PDQ.
Yeah,
I think it only closed like during the pandemic, but forever it was like old school like warehouse with crates.
Oh,
you know, and you just went through and it's like it was never anything more than like $10.
You're part of Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears. You played rhythm guitar with them for a couple of albums, and you also dabble with Bill Stevenson on his venture of Blood Pumps. So, like, how does that come to be? Like, I think you've told me you hopped in on the Electric Slave record. That would have been like 2013. How does that come about? Like, how do you partner up with that group?
Man, it was just random. Honestly, like I was working with Bill's then girlfriend, bartending at this place, and just like kind of met him like through her, and then we found out that like we like were like neighbors basically. Like he lived a few houses down from me.
Yeah,
and so we just started hanging out, you know, and kind of instantly bonded over music, you know, and at first would just chill.
Yeah.
You know, and then we ended up starting playing some music together. And Bill had kind of had a few songs.
Would like, this have been 2013 or prior to that?
This was probably right around then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2012, 2013. Yeah, right around then. And we just started playing music, and then Bill had this idea for a band.
Yeah.
You know, and so me and him he had a couple songs written, and me and him like continued writing and just started writing songs, and then we brought in Joe. Actually, we brought Joe in as a second guitarist in that band.
Yeah.
And found a drummer, and that's how it started. I just started playing in that band. and then, kind of hit it off with Joe, as well. Like, like we had some connections, him also being from Tucson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like me and Joe just see eye to eye on a lot of things.
That's cool.
And so eventually they're like, hey, we're gonna bring in another guitar player, and offered it to me, and I was like,
sick.
Let's do it. So that's how it all started, and then that was, a while ago. So, but yeah, we're all still homies.
That's what's up. Yeah, Blood Pumps has 2 EPs out. They got America and Burgers. Y'all dropped that in 2017, and then most recently, Birds of Paradise in 2022?
Yeah.
Tell me about like that creation process. That all went down in here?
No, that did. All our new stuff is going down in here. But those records were both done at different spots.
Yeah.
With different bands or different like band members. Yeah, I mean, Blood Pumps is just kind of, since it's kind of always been like a secondary project.
Yeah.
Since we had both, played with Joe as like the main project for pretty much the entirety of Blood Pumps. It never really got like the attention it deserved, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's nobody's fault but our own. Honestly, we just like, we just didn't have enough time to, and I had a family at the time as well, a younger family. Well, I still got a family, but my son was younger, so it's just like I had even less time than I have now.
Yeah.
Shit, lost my train of thought.
It's all good. Like I remember seeing y'all perform at Radio Coffee Beer. Y'all opened up for, I think, Joe Jackson's or something like that.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, I saw y'all Blood Pumps. It was some South by thing. I forget where it was, but I think those are the only 2 spots I've caught y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have done more than that in the area.
Yeah. Well, and that's always the thing. It's like we've always gotten like good gigs with Blood Pump, like decent gigs for a brand new band.
Yeah.
And like we've all like it's always been received pretty well, but it just that's what I was trying to say. It's just like because like we never gave it like the full attention it deserved. It felt like the difference between those 2 releases you mentioned, the American Burgers and then Birds of Paradise, like I feel like the sound like just like kind of changes a lot between those 2, and then the stuff we're doing now is like totally different from those 2, and it's just like it hasn't been like a lot of like, we just haven't done enough of like playing live and releasing stuff that like kind of start to lose a little bit of continuity, where like the projects, like the sound is changing a lot, which is cool. Like, I mean, I think it's good for sounds to change and evolve, but they really just, those 2 recordings, I don't know, I feel like they're cool in their own way, but I feel like the band's also kind of moving on. And mainly now it's just me and Bill, honestly. Like we kind of like, Joe hasn't really been playing on this new stuff, and we don't even have a drummer. Like we're just doing like drum machines. And like lots of like this new stuff has a lot of like synth stuff, and
that's what's up.
So that,
Is there anything in the works for that? Any new titles coming out for that?
Yeah, we have a couple tracks that are that we're recording, like finishing up recording on right now. Which I think we're supposed to record a video for one of them next weekend, and
those videos are sick.
Hopefully by early summer. I mean, hopefully in the next, month or 2, we'll have a couple new releases.
Yeah.
And we're also going to start playing more shows with Blood Pumps too, actually. Supposed to be meeting with Bill this week. We're just going to ramp up that live show again.
Yeah, that's good.
Start playing more Blood Pump shows.
It's all coming back for sure. After that shit we all went through for the past couple of years.
Exactly.
It's coming back.
Yeah, so between the pandemic and everything, like, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of getting back on their feet as far as like playing and writing and recording. Lots of like creative people,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So talk about like the Honey Bears, the Black Joe Lewis like perspective. You've been down for 3 albums now. They dropped Electric Slave, which would have been your first one you were a part of, Backlash, and then Difference Between You and Me. How's that been as a member of that that band?
It's cool. I mean, they Joe's definitely got like his like kind of defined style.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I've always just tried to, you know, compliment whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, and like lots of those records were written like in like a like practice environment. We just kind of all play together, and the songs kind of evolve on their own. I feel like that's a pretty strong way to write as a band.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's I think the sound is like definitely. I think there's a lot of like kind of touch on a lot of different like genres like throughout like Joe's music.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool. You know, and I think it. I don't know. I think it like keeps it pretty fresh and. I don't know. I think there's a lot of good in kind of like exploring a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
And it's like, but at the same time, it's always like with Joe, like it's always unmistakably him. You know, he's got such a unique like guitar style, and his voice is super unique as well.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like even just like most of his like songwriting, the way he like writes his like vocal melodies, like is also like really unique. And I don't know. I think that's probably one of the reasons that he's been able to like sustain a really like solid following.
Yeah.
Like over the years.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a following. I mean, not just in Texas. I see like videos that they post of when y'all are on tour, and that's pretty sick. That the schedule is what it is, and the following is what it is outside of the state.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, it's impressive, you know, to like, you know, because I mean, I don't think Joe's had a radio hit, you know, in 10 years.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like. It's pretty cool that his following can continue to grow and sustain.
Yeah.
Like at a pretty solid level, you know, which is, I mean, I think that's awesome. I don't think, like, I think he could do this. I think he'll do this, you know, his whole life. Yeah. I don't think those fans are going anywhere, you know, which is really cool.
So you played on Electric Slave. Did you play on Vampire?
No, that I actually don't know if I recorded anything on that or not.
But you were part of the group at that point?
I came in the band like right when that record was coming out.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And I actually don't remember if I recorded anything on. If I did, it was only on a song or two because that record was pretty much done when I joined the band.
All right, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely will play some slide on whatever you know, parts and things like that.
You've also had to like pick up on all those older tracks that were released when you weren't part of the band, right?
Yeah.
How's that learning process been?
It's been cool. I mean, like I said, like I'm always just trying to compliment whatever Joe's doing.
Yeah.
You know, try not to, you know, lots of the time, you know, it's more like about like not playing stuff, you know, and just like leaving space.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. So. You know, it's definitely. We've had a lot of like different musicians come through, and like we've had like sub guitar players and like different drummers like throughout the years, different horn players, and it's like I'll talk to them and like it's not like an easy band to play in. I don't think it's like I don't know. I'm not trying to like, you know, talk highly of myself, but like I don't think it's like. That hard to play in, but I definitely like have talked to people that like try to fill in or try to do something. They're just like, dude, I just don't know what to play. Like especially like some of the other guitar players, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm usually just like, you're probably just playing too much, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
say less.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what's up. Man. So he had a little set last night. I think that was pretty cool to like be part of like Jam in the Van, that entire process. I think that was, I hate the name drop, and I'll probably cut this in post. But how has been like, you've performed quite a few times during like the South by like time. How is that from going as a person to not performing in that to going as a person who has performed in that? How's that experience been?
It's been cool, you know.
Is that the wildest time, like
the South by shows?
Yeah, in comparison to anything else on the calendar.
No, it's I mean it's the wildest in the sense that like there's just always like a ton of like bullshit and red tape. Like honestly, like South by is just like it's usually like some of like our most dreaded shows just because it's like going down into South by is like its own beast, just like and like they really don't do much like as far as like it's not like a festival where there's like a lot of like people to direct people and things like there's none of that because it's just in the middle of a city so it's just like it's always a pain, like parking's always a bitch.
Y'all done a lot of festivals too, right, around the state?
Yeah, that's been Joe's like bread and butter for a long time, at least with this like current or actually I think he just switched booking agents, but his booking agent before then, that was their big thing, was like little festivals around the country. And like they like there was always like a lot of like flyouts like on the weekends, and it was always just like some small town in North Carolina is having like a street festival, and and Joe's headlining, and it's like they're cool. Like all those little festivals, like they're always fun. Like they're always like they usually take care of the artists pretty good too, so like that's always nice.
Have y'all done any performances out of the country?
They did. I never have. They did when they first were coming up, when they were on Universal.
Okay.
Universal sent them to a few different countries, doing like big tours on those on that first record or two. But they haven't. Yeah, we haven't been out of the country. I've never played out of the country, and I mean, other than Canada, we played in Canada a bunch. But
that's cool.
Yeah,
man. I think that's all I got. You got any questions for me? You got anything you want to drop to the Freaks and Geeks out there while they're listening?
Freaks and Geeks, what up? Not really, man. I guess just keep an ear to the ground. We're working on lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
Cool. And you got this the Pump House. You fixing guitars out here too?
Yep. Yeah.
You trying to take that on as a personal thing too?
Yeah. That's kind of a side gig for me as well. Like I do like guitar repair, and guitar setup, and doing the pedals too. So that kind of also like winds into like electronics with amps and things like that. So I kind of got my own little like little repair shop out here.
Craftsman too. That's what's up. Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, thanks for having us out here. I'm gonna cut this off. Freaks and Geeks. Go check them out and keep listening. I'll be right back with you. Well, Freaks and Geeks, that's all she wrote. Once again, I want to thank our guest for the week, Mike Brinley, for hosting us out there in the Pump House, sitting down, throwing down with the little podcast, sharing some insight, sharing some knowledge on what it's like to be a performing Texas musician in two of the dopest bands in the land. Make sure you go follow them, Freaks and Geeks. This bad motherfucker sat down with the host that is out there at the Pump House and shared stories of just a crazy, wild world of music performance, guitar performance. Go check him out. Go support him. Mike Brinley, go hit him up on Instagram. Go hit up Blood Pumps on Instagram. Hit up Bill Stevenson, the bassist, who's been on here before. Remember, that was Volume 2, Episode 14, if you have not seen that. Also, go hit up Black Joe Lewis. Tell him you want to hear him on the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. That'd be dope. That'd be sick. But all in all, Freaks and Geeks, no matter what you do, go support these motherfuckers, all right? They are really throwing down some fucking hot jam tracks in general for you to listen to. Some fucking soothing sounds for the ears, right? Hit them up. If you ever have the opportunity to see them live, make sure you fucking do it. Whether that's the Blood Pumps, whether that's Black Joe Lewis and the Honey Bears, they throw on a fucking hell of a show. And I've always enjoyed each of those performances that I've been able to see. So, gentlemen, all three of y'all motherfuckers, thank you very much for giving us the music. And now, the closing credits. Freaks and Geeks, thank you for listening. And remember, new episodes of the podcast are released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Before I keep going on, Freaks and Geeks, I need some help from you. I'm looking for a person, not a person in particular, but I'm looking for urban explorers. All right, I know of a lot of urban explorers outside of the state of Texas. But I'm looking for some local, some Austin area, some Central Texas urban explorers. So Freaks and Geeks, if you know of any, throw me some information. Maybe they got a YouTube channel, maybe they got an Instagram handle. Throw me some information. Hit me up. Drop me a line on Instagram. Fucking hit me up on the email. That's also in the show notes. But that's what I need. All right, I'm looking for an urban explorer guest that we can have on the podcast. I really don't want to talk about that. That's some very, very interesting shit. Now check it out. The other favor I need you to do, I need some more subscriptions. I need more likes. I need more rates. I need more comments when you're going to those podcast platforms to subscribe to the Doctor's Orders podcast. I need more of that from you. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. Follow the podcast. Follow the podcast Instagram. Follow the 512 Foot Doctor on Instagram as well. And hit us up on that podcast hotline. Drop us a question. Drop us a line that you're going to have answered on the show. I do want to set the record straight. I think I had a couple of people just straight up call the line and not leave a voicemail. What are you doing? That's not a freak or a geek. You got to leave a fucking voicemail. Don't call that phone number unless you're going to drop a question and leave that voicemail. You got timid. I don't know what's up with you. You knocked on the door and then ran off. Hit that number, 512-522-3814, and leave a message after the beep. Again, make sure you follow us on Instagram. Spread the word, Freaks and Geeks. Spread the word to a freak or a geek that you know. Remember, the Doctor's Orders podcast is a Life or Death Studios production. Freaks and Geeks, until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.